Welcome back to another episode of Radical Talks with Kosi J. This week's episode is going to begin on this topic, women's rights over time, and I'm going to go ahead and say what sparked this one. So, over the weekend and some of last week's news, the WNBA announced their draft picks, and I remember coming across either it was a tweet or an article, one of them, and it said that Caitlin Clark, who was one of the draft picks, she had an awkward interview encounter with someone, and they were being sexist and a bit inappropriate. And I saw that someone else also mentioned underneath that article or tweet that Angel Reese was crying over the same thing that was going on, but no one reacted in the same way. And I know there's two different topics that this can cover, both from a racial standpoint and just from women and their rights being violated time and time again. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to just focus on the rights of women and how they've notoriously always been violated or deemed less than the male counterpart. Obviously, it's not right, it's not fair. And the craziest thing about it all is that without women playing an integral role in society would essentially crumble. I feel that wholeheartedly. Take away the mother figure from any familial household, that household will not have a legitimate stand. It'll fall apart. The mother is the figure, the actual head of household, if you want to get a little gritty with it, but that'll probably be a video with a separate topic. But that is it. That is what I feel strongly, and I just kind of got annoyed at the fact that something like that was happening to great female athletes along with the other athletes that were picked alongside the draft. I just feel as though having to even talk about something so ridiculous as another man being inappropriate during a time that women are shining, it's pathetic at this point. This is the great time to see at least a little change when it comes to female athletics. And yeah, the guy had to go ahead and be inappropriate, but by no means does it taint any of these athletes' missions, accomplishments. So shrug it off. But again, it is ridiculous that something like that has to happen. Speaking on the accomplishments that these ladies have put on, especially getting this much recognition towards the WNBA in general, college basketball, period. I just feel that it shouldn't have taken this long as far as getting recognized goes. It's kind of a main thing that sports is always focused on men. But this past college ball season, these two athletes or names were getting brought up back to back. So what about the pay gap situation though? Now that they've been drafted,
it's been said that,
well, it's been shown their pay, but me personally, I don't think that's the fairest pay. But why is it like this in all sports, all professional sport, women's sports? It's seen like this, like this less than thing, like this. Oh, well, if the men have their thing, let the women have theirs, just to keep them quiet. It's not real athleticism, and I'm just kind of like, but then there's Serena Williams, you know, one of the greatest athletes ever to have existed. I just feel like women, there's not enough respect put in our nature, which is ridiculous and quite upsetting. But that doesn't mean we should diminish ourselves or walk in the ways that the world may view us. Just know that everybody has their own story. Everybody has a different way that they view themselves. Everyone's world is vastly different from yours. So don't adjust to the next person's world with the fact that you're also sacrificing your own. We don't want that. Be in your own world. Be you. Keep your head high. And know that you matter. That's pretty much it.
The Roe versus Wade situation was a shock for me.
Because I never thought that it would ever actually happen for real, until it did. And I was really appalled. I said, oh, wow. That happened. And I just kind of sat there the moment I found out about the news, and I was like, wow, laws can just be repealed like that. I didn't expect that at all. But the fact that it's a law that was supposed to protect women, and then it just, boop, no longer protected. What else can be done and gotten away with, I wonder? I don't know, sometimes silence is necessary to ponder on the actions that people take. Women's rights. It's a sensitive topic, sensitive issue. And yet, another example, and this is my opinion. When I found out about this, I was in shock. So, it's been told to me that a certain men's ED medication is being paid by citizens' tax dollars every year. I didn't believe that, and then I had to find out for real if this was true, and it was indeed true. And I said, wow, so what is that? What is that about? But certain lady feminine products cannot also be provided by and paid for by citizens. I just thought it would be fair, but no, it's not. So there's that. Women's rights. One that can be explained, another one can't quite figure out why, outside of a selfish standpoint. It feels really good outside today, guys. I noticed that in my last video it was kind of gloomy. It's because it was giving rain. Today's definitely giving a lot of sun. Not too much to the point where you start sweating it out. It's like a chill type of heat, which is weird to say together. But yeah, these women's rights. I saw on TikTok as well. TikTok that will no longer be, as everyone's been chatting about the ban. But when I was on TikTok, I saw a video from Joy Reid that our rights as women have been like taken apart bit by bit. She was like, wake up, everybody should wake up. So I don't think that it's the fact that people are not awake. I believe people are awake. I just feel as if they don't know what the next steps should be regarding the situation. There was this research that I saw yesterday, actually, and it was connecting the amount of entertainment that an individual watches versus how much of world news, world happenings, things happening in society that should be made aware of. Comparing the two, what happens essentially. Okay. And they were saying that the more entertainment that someone consumes, the less likely they're going to even want to hear about anything else pertaining to society at large. And I thought that was kind of crazy. And then I noticed, because I love watching things, cartoons, every now and then, but the more focused things being shows and some movies now and then. But anyway, I noticed that there's been an uptick on shows and TV, movies, just things that need to be talked about in random, like, podcasts, just things that will entertain you 24/7. And I used to think it would just be about the ad revenues and stuff like that, but no. Yeah, it's about the money, but I also feel like it's used as a distraction. It's used as a distraction. I mean, if rights can be taken away just like that, and then the response is not complete outrage, that'll sustain I don't know how long an outrage should be sustained for, but for a while, if that's not the result after a right like that is taken away, I don't know how people are going to be expected to be taken seriously. I don't want to sound like there's not going to be any change to happen as far as this, because that's not the type of person that I see myself as. I'm a realist, but it's at the same time, there's always room for possibility. So I guess it's a positive that a lot of women are waking up to, you know, who they feel themselves to be, knowing their worth, leaving toxic situations alone, finding self, essentially. And it's a good thing, because when you are on that journey of finding self, you start realizing how much time you've put into the wrong endeavors and people and things where it really should have been you. Who knows? From there, you can start branching out and seeing what's wrong in the world, and then knowing that no one person can take on the whole world, but at least you pick one part of the world that you feel like you could give back, and then see within the community and society, like, what is it that's going on in your community that directly affects the women, and is there any way that can be changed, or are officially fixed towards a way that would benefit every woman there. There's different ways. I mean, I've gone on a little tangent, but it all connects. It all connects. I am happy at how far women's rights have gotten, because it was bad back in the day. Reading history is no joke. Women suffered. Women before my time suffered. And I will pay respects, because that's not, I don't know, you just can't imagine being faced with so much adversity at a time and then still having to like stay positive despite the craziness happening around you. It's just, it blows my mind. I cannot imagine that. But the women persevered. They persevered, and though gradual as it had come, the women, they started fighting for them rights. Started fighting them rights. And don't know where that accent came from, but yeah, they started fighting, and they started making some progress. Changes happened, and now we're here. Now we're here. Yeah. To the point where we could have had a female president of the United States, of this here United States. A woman president. Female president. Feminine. Connecting to that, I even watched the movie with Shirley Chisholm. Yeah. Regina King played her role in it. No, she did a good job. That was a tough lady. That's all I can say. Shirley was a tough lady. She really didn't hear the word no. Like, Shirley set her world to look a certain way. And there's certain phrases and sentences that just did not comply. So she would find a way either way. And that resilience literally took her so far that she almost, that's wild considering the times. So we need to be paying attention to what is being passed and pay attention to the little things, because there's a lot of things going wrong in society. And so yeah, women's rights, we need to protect them viciously. I have nothing more to say on this topic other than I will see you all on the next episode of Radical Talks with Kosi J.